Hey, I'm Dr. Infinity, and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about two comic series. I just finished Criminal by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. It's kind of a neo-noir, I guess that's the best way to describe it, series. It's kind of like non-sequential, but it's just about like some, obviously, criminals throughout, like covering a few generations within the city. And I'm also going to be covering Conan, the 2003 run. I think it's Kurt Busiek, or I believe that's his name. But that Conan runs about 50 issues. And I didn't want to make like two videos on comics and just put them out back to back because I don't think they'll get like a ton of views. So I thought I'd just double up. I'm going to have timestamps if you want to check out the Conan stuff, not the Criminal, or vice versa. But I'm going to talk about the Criminal stuff first. Anyways, going into the series, the only other kind of like crime comic that I've checked out is like probably Sin City, which I'm not really big on. I checked out the comics. I wasn't in love with them. I didn't think they were like fantastic. I did like the Sin City like movie adaptation. I thought that was like pretty good. I enjoyed the movie. I enjoyed the movie a lot more than the comic. And also Stray Bullets, which I'd say I recommend. I would say I recommend, like, if you could like read the first issue of Stray Bullets and then read the second issue. It's just like what David Lapham can do in like a single issue in like 30 pages and just build a little world there. I think is like really incredible, like fantastic. I wasn't as big on Sunshine and Roses, but definitely like early Stray Bullets, like the original run, 100% worth checking out. So you could do that. I'm just going to kind of dive into Criminal. I think I've read everything on Criminal. I'm pretty positive from like the 2019 run, which I believe is the latest that's come out, and the first run being Coward, and I think that came out in like 2007, I think. And just like there were some like novellas, like Wrong Time, Wrong Place, and like My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies, like Bad Weekend, which is part of 2019. I've checked all those out, but so I'm gonna have full spoilers going in, like I always do. So we kind of hit the ground running in the first run of Criminal, where we have Leo, and he's being pulled in to pull this job, and he's being reunited with some criminal pals. One thing I found of Criminal is that with it being like non-sequential, kind of like how Stray Bullets is at times, is it can be like pretty fucking hard to keep track of like just what exactly is going on in this exact timeline that we're in, because sometimes you can have issues where it's like back to back to back, where it's like timeline A, timeline B, timeline C, where it's like, when this kid's like really young, when they're middle-aged, when they're an old man, or this guy's in prison now, or etc. It's a lot to keep track of. The first like little thing where it follows Leo and it ends up with him in prison is pretty solid. I think I like the guy that has like the seizures, at the subway to like collect money. I think he's kind of funny. I like Ivan in this. He has a really good panel in issue 3. But I think like some characters get killed like just too fast. Where in issue 4, Ivan, he's kind of funny. He's kind of like a nice anchor for Leo, someone that he has to provide and care for, and he's dead. And then in issue 5, and then this woman's dead that Leo has like not an affair with, but they were part of the same crew, I guess, from a while back, and like he knew her husband, and they sleep together, and etc. Now she's dead, right? And it's just like it's super, super fast, and I think that works sometimes, and other times it's like, hey, I like this character, I wish I had a little more time with them. Does that make sense? And like in issue 6, we're already on like a whole new set of characters, and there's just a loose connection within the city, and these criminals have like some ties to each other, like the Hydes, being like the ruling like criminal class of the city, and that's yeah, and there's just little connections like the Undertow and like Gnarly, and in the last issue for that, like Leo's killed everyone, he's in jail, and the woman's little girl Angela, now like Gnarly is looking out for her, and Leo's in prison. So then we have Tracy Lawless in issue 6, and he's going to find out what happens with Ricky, and like I ended up liking the Lawless crew a lot more than I thought. I thought Tracy was kind of generic when I first saw him, but I ended up liking Ricky and especially Teague later on. Like, they're really good. But like the 2008 run, it's just 7 issues, and it follows Sebastian, and then Gnarly and Sebastian hide when they're just kind of starting out, and their fathers have kind of set up the crime within the city, which is, it's okay. It's decent stuff. It follows like that counterfeiter guy as well, who I thought he had a decent little arc. He's not like a favorite character, but yeah, I think he's fine. Sinners is probably my least favorite. I've checked out all of Criminal, and Sinners has to be my least favorite arc for sure, where it's just, the others feel like pretty grounded, and like you could imagine like this is within the realm of possibility for like criminals to get up to shit, but it's about a priest who trains altar boys to be killers, and it's just kind of dumb, and it was just like, it was just a little meh, where it definitely broke my immersion a bit, where it's just like I'm rolling my eyes and like, I can't believe this shit I'm actually reading. Like, I do know in like actual like gangs and shit that I'm sure there are like younger kids that get brought into a gang, and they do like increasingly violent shit to try to attain like member status or whatever. I can believe that. I can believe like in young killers like 14 or 15 or something, but not a priest training altar boys to kill mafia guys. Not that. And then we have T going back to jail, and Sebastian Hyde is dead. And, I think this is as far as like the timeline goes into the future, I think. I could definitely be wrong. Like, my heroes have all been Junkies. That might take place after this. I'm not positive, though. So, Last of the Innocents. So we have this guy, and I think this is like based on Archie, just from the art style. I've never read Archie comics, but it seems to do like a, not parody, but if you know Stray Bullets at all, you know who Amy Racecar is, and what Jenny uses Amy Racecar as kind of a vehicle, to, I guess, not vent about her life, but kind of just like, it's a tool for her to use to like cover what's been going on in her life. I don't know. That's a really poor way of describing, but like an artistic way of expressing herself, I guess. And this sort of felt like that with this guy and this art style. It's just, I think it's just like 4 issues, and I thought it was okay. I like him and like just like the fucked up shit he does with his junkie friend at the end and all that. But this arc especially is like super loosely tied to the world, because all we know about our main guy is that he has a gambling problem. Like, Hyde's name gets mentioned a few times, and I think Teague is still around at this point, right? Yeah, I think Teague's still around at this point. But it's just like, a extremely loose connection to the world of Criminal, but I don't think it's like terrible. I thought this was like, I thought it was a pretty good ending, like some dark shit with Riley, and just how he's kind of gotten away with it, pretty good stuff. Wrong Time, Wrong Place. It's about Teague when he's in prison, and it feels like, all right, it feels a little like too much. You know what I mean? With like some action heroes where like he slaughters like 50 guys, or if you know like Berserk, where like Berserk defeats 100 men in a single night, and you're like, okay, this is kind of gay. Or at least it takes me a bit out of the story. But like Teague slaughters like a bunch of dudes in prison in just like this montage. And it's like, all right, I don't exactly believe this. I think he's a tough dude. I think he could definitely kill a few people, but him killing as many as he did took me out of it. But part 2 is nice because I think this has been, this has been referenced before with Tracy talking about going on a road trip with his dad, and Ricky being forced to stay at home. But it's just good stuff. I like Tracy and the little friend he makes. I think her name's Gabby or whatever. And Teague saying happy birthday to Tracy, that's definitely memeable. I'll probably try to use that at some point for something. Teague having bodies in the trunk like that, it kind of reminded me of the first issue of Stray Bullets a little bit. I don't think that's necessarily a homage. It's probably not, but it reminded me of that and Joey. Yeah, I just like Gabby and Tracy, and it's just like, it's fucked because they both want to be able to connect to people, but they just can't. Like, Tracy can't get close. And it's really sad. Yeah, there's some good panels there at the end. And just like Teague being like such a fucked up guy, and Tracy just has to put up with so much. And he kind of, he ends up basically mostly just like his father. A better man than his dad, but still a pretty fucked up guy. So, My Heroes Have Always Been Junkies. It's a novella set in the criminal universe. I didn't know that it was at first. I thought it was just like something completely unrelated, and I didn't even really get it at the end. I started to piece it together like at the very, very end, but we have this woman, I think it's Ellie, or I think her like codename is Ellie, getting close to this guy in rehab, and she's betraying him to get protection for her like pseudo dad in jail, and it's decent. And then you kind of figure out this guy that she's protecting, his name's Leo, and then you're like, oh, fuck, this is a homage to the very first arc of Criminals, where Leo protects his friend's daughter, Angela, and Gnarly also helps protect Angela, and here we go. I wasn't like in love with everything in here, especially because it still like feels like pretty disconnected from everything, it's only like towards the ends that you're like, oh, this is, here's the connection, right? I think it could have been trimmed here and there, especially if we're not going to see this character again, then I don't know. Like, I feel like if you're setting up all the stuff with her and what she's willing to do to protect Leo, then you kind of have to use her again to justify the amount of time that's spent on her. Does that make sense? Like, I don't know if like in another arc of Criminal, if they're even going to make more Criminal, because it's been like 2 years, maybe a little more. I don't know. That she could use some more time because like we've been introduced to her. She has her own little novella where she's like the big focus of it. Okay, so we're on the 2019 arc, which I liked. We have young Leo and Ricky Lawless. They're working together. They're teenagers here, and it's good stuff. Ricky and Leo, they fucked up, and they owe 25,000, and Teague knows that he's fucked and he's gonna have to get some kind of plan together to save his son. So it's good. I like this for like our intro issue, but the next two issues, 2 and 3, are the little standalone thing called Bad Weekend, which is about the kind of handicapped guy, and he's helping this comic book artist. He's kind of a chaperone for him for this weekend, and he's like collecting lost art. And again, there's a super loose connection where it's like adult Ricky. Lawless is thrown in. I think Bad Weekend's okay, but it's kind of like, All My Heroes, where, it's a little side thing. I don't think it's bad by any means, but it's a little different. Okay, so in issue 5, we get introduced to Dan Faraday, who's this PI, and then Jane, or Miranda, who is a, I guess, femme fatale. I guess that's the best way to describe her. Who seduces and robs men, and she ends up working with Teague Lawless, and they've kind of fallen in love, kind of, I guess, to both of their surprise. Issue 7, where, like, Teague is, like, being nice to Ricky and trying to be, like, a decent person, and he calls him champ. That's great. Ricky has some more, like, backstory, and we get to understand a little bit of why he's so fucked up, why he's such a, like, a bad fucking dude. And, he got fucked up in juvie, and that was some pretty dark shit. Jane kind of backs up Ricky and helps him, like, take out the junkie. Not that she really likes Ricky or wants to help him. It's just that he's kind of a problem. He's kind of a thorn in her side, Still, she does a good thing overall. I liked issue 9, where we get to see Leo, Ivan, and then Tommy, where it's, like, the good times where it's not Ivan as a junkie or Ivan dead, because Ivan's like, he seems like a pretty nice character. I wish there was a little more with him, but since he got killed like boom early in the first run. We can only see him in like these little flashbacks and such, which is a shame. But yeah, I just like these little happy memories that Leo has. They're good. Okay, so 10th issue, like we have Faraday back in town. Ricky being hurt by abandonment is just solid. It's really solid into showing just like how fucking fragile Ricky is. And then, we have Faraday meeting Ricky at the end at the old house, and you really understand like why Ricky does what he does in selling Jane out. It makes sense. It's good. It's really good. I liked Teague being a fuck up at the like wrestling event where he just kind of goes crazy and shoots that guy that most likely didn't deserve it. I would say high chance that guy was, not a bad dude. That was pretty good. And then, we have Faraday at the end to rob Teague, and like, yeah, this is a solid like little heist thing. It kind of reminded me of, I think it's an early Stanley Kubrick movie, The Killing, where it's just this black and white and it's this heist at a racetrack. Kind of reminded me of that, and that was pretty solid. So, and then we have our conclusion issue where Jane and this PI, she's just trying to get away. She's trying to be free. And they end up dying, and the money just goes fucking everywhere. So it's all kind of like for nothing, basically. It was all for fucking nothing. And then, just Teague is just like so fucked up about this. And, he kind of talks about his pain, and you get these like little rare reflections where he's just not this kind of like big, I guess like kind of like Marv, where he's like a similar character where they're kind of like these bruiser, like, guys, I'll just like fuck everyone up, but there's a little more to Teague, and I like that. And, Ricky finally confesses what he's done to his father, and Teague's killing him. He's just killing Ricky, and Leo ends up killing Teague, and, his dad ends up taking the blame. And we know that Tommy ends up getting stabbed and killed in prison, and that earlier, I think it might have been the very first arc of Criminal, where Leo ends up talking about like how his dad went away because he like killed a friend of his, or something. It was something like that, and like now we know the actual story and the history behind it, and I'm like, that was really good. That was some really solid shit. I like that quite a bit. I think Criminal's pretty good. I think The Sinners is definitely like the weakest arc in Criminals. Like overall, I think the novellas are pretty good. I think they're decent, not like super connected to the world. All My Heroes definitely has more of a connection towards the end, but it's a good series. I think if you like kind of noir comics or that kind of thing, you'll like it. If you don't know what Stray Bullets is, check it out. I think it's pretty solid too. Now I'm going to talk about Conan the Barbarian, just because I didn't want to make I'd rather just do like one video on comics rather than just putting out two little videos and they get like 5 views each or something. I thought this was we have this overall framing device for this arc, or I guess for this run, where we're set in the future, I guess a few hundred years or something, where these kind of not Muslims, because we have not Romans and such in the Conan world in this run, and so these are not Muslims that have kind of conquered, and they have this big new empire, and they've taken over these lands where Conan used to be. And I really didn't like this framing device, because it's essentially these Muslims have taken over these kind of European lands, and they've now enslaved the people and such, and it's just they're kind of recounting the history of Conan. And I thought that was a little not great. I don't know if I would call it subversive, but it feels a little fucked up, where it's the adventures of Conan and all that is gone now, because all this people and his descendants are now slaves under this Muslim empire and shit. Didn't care for it. I liked the Hyboria stuff, and I don't know every original Conan story that Robert E. Howard wrote. I am gonna check out the complete Chronicles of Conan, the original stuff. I have that coming to me in the mail, and I'm looking forward to it. But they adapted the Frost Giant's daughter. I thought that was a good adaptation. I haven't read the original story though, so I'll see. But I liked it here. I have checked out the French Conan comics, which are just called the Sumerian. I think there's some copyright shit or whatever that prevented them from just calling it Conan. But they adapted some stuff. Some of those I felt were pretty good, decent. Others, it varied a lot, especially the art style for the Sumerian stuff. The art style would really fucking vary. I ended up liking this run overall, but it's not like a big recommend. So I thought the Hyboria arc was really nice, and just like pretty sad with this woman and everything that, she gives up her own freedom because she's really counting and hedging her bets that Conan's going to be able to save her, and he can't. It's good shit. I really hated the 2011 Conan the Barbarian movie. I thought it was awful, and especially like Kid Conan, where he's like this master killer and swordsman and all this shit. I think that crap is awful, and he's like born on the battlefield. Hate it. And in this one, I think it's the 8th issue where Conan's pregnant mother is on the battlefield. She kills a man and then gives birth, so he's born on the battlefield. And I'm like, that is so dumb. That is so fucking gay. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I kind of like the Bone Woman. I don't know if Janissa is like a solid character or just a little too like kind of cliche and done, where it feels a little like Berserk. But I like the idea of like this woman collecting bones of like powerful people and such, and then just like imprinting these bones on Janissa to make her more powerful. And like I kind of like that as a concept. I think that's neat. But Janissa is like a woman that just gets raped a shit ton, and then she kind of just dresses how she dresses. I don't know. I think I've seen that before. You know what I mean? But I like some aspects of the Bone Woman. But in issue 15, I thought this was really fucking gay. 8-year-old Conan kills a wolf. He rips its throat out with his teeth. It's stupid. It's fucking dumb. I like the original movie where Conan's just this innocent little kid, and then he gets sent to the Wheel of Pain. And following that, he gets trained to be a gladiator. He just survives a few rounds in the pits, and then he ends up being taken and trained by the War Masters of the East. And it makes sense why he's so powerful, why he's so strong. While he's just, Conan's just really strong, even as a child. And you're like, why? Why is he? And it doesn't really work for me. I liked the Tower of the Elephant. That was really bizarre and kind of strange. I was not expecting that shit in a Conan story, but I kind of liked it because I've heard Tower of the Elephant recommended online a lot. So seeing it adapted here, I thought that was neat. I thought that was really neat. But he ends up kind of having a little crew where like there's this woman, and then his friend, it starts with an N. I'm sorry, it's been a while. I've just read Criminal, and Conan was a few weeks back. Naderus, or whatever. But his other friend, his male friend, Naderus, is like a thief along with him. And then their woman ends up, Nestor. It's Nestor. So this woman ends up betraying Conan and Nestor ends up getting killed for it. And later on, when Conan ends up running into this woman again, instead of like killing her, which he should do because she is directly responsible for the death of his friend, he just like throws her into like there's like some shit and like some garbage, and he just chucks her down there. And it's like, dude, she got your friend killed. Like, behead her. You don't have to torture her or whatever, but fucking kill her. She's a bad person. She's done evil shit. But yeah, it doesn't do that. And anyways, like, if anything, I would say this run made me more interested in checking out the original stories, which I'm going to do. But if you guys have recommendations for, like, Conan stuff, like other Conan comic runs, like where to start, because I know there's a ton and I just don't really know where to go, instead of just like picking a run randomly. I thought this stuff was decent, not like amazing or like great, but like, yeah, there's some decent stuff in there. I probably wouldn't necessarily check it out again anytime soon, but yeah, probably do some more comic stuff at some point. I wanted to check out this French series called like Vampire Chevalier Requiem or whatever, but it's not like all fucking translated into English, so I can't even like buy it and check it out, which is fucking gay. I hate that with the French comics, where people recommend them, but you don't have access to them. That's something I really dislike. Anyways, if you got comics or something to recommend, let me know. I do other reviews on my channel, like Professor Xavier, Body's Sexual Predator, etc. Good stuff. You know, it's kind of this or that with this channel. Anyways, thanks for watching. Dr. Infinity out.